Hey guys, what's going on? Yesterday in the comments, I noticed that there was someone requesting that I take a look at Injective. So that's what I'm going to do. But before I get into the details, a couple things. First, if you're not subscribed and you want to get notified when I release new videos, click subscribe. But if you actually want to get the update, you have to click on the bell and then click on all. Also, if you want to place to trade Injective or any of the other coins I talk about on this channel, I'll put a link to 3 different exchanges in both the pinned comment and the description. And each of those links is going to activate a sign up bonus. Now, if you don't want to have to go through a KYC process, you're kind of running out of options. The one option that you do have, however, is called BloFin. So I'll link that at the top. And right now, until July 4th or until like 100 people sign up, so this is limited to the first 100 people, if you deposit to your futures account, then they're going to top that off a little bit for you and give you a bonus. So this chart basically just shows what the bonuses are that they're offering. Now, you can't just deposit and then remove it right away. I think when July 4th comes around, that's when they're going to tally everything up, and it has to be a net deposit, okay? So if you meet the net deposit requirements, then this is how much of a bonus you're going to get, and the bonus is going to be issued a couple days after July 4th. Okay, and remember, that's limited to the first 100 people. Okay, so let's get into this Injective chart. This coin is performing much better than most of the other altcoins. We've already breached the previous all-time high of the last cycle, and there's not many else that have done that. And right now, if you look at where the price is sitting, we're essentially just resting on support from when we broke out of this previous high, right? So if you want to trade Injective, definitely take a horizontal right and paste it right at the top of these candle bodies right here. Okay, so that's exactly where we are, okay? So we traded below it briefly, but I'm looking at where the weekly candles close, and so far, the bulls have been defending this level. Even with today's crash, this one is holding up very well. Actually, a lot of the altcoins are holding up much better relative to Bitcoin, which is a very good sign. Okay, so that's the first level you want to draw. The second level I'd recommend you draw, just take a trend line and connect the tops of the highs here. So this one, and this one. Basically, this cluster of price action here, just extend the trend line over to the top of those candle bodies there. Okay, and having it marked out is just going to remind you that as the price comes up, this is likely to be a very strong resistance level where people are going to open short positions, okay, and try to push the price back down. All right, so those are the two most relevant lines that we're currently dealing with. Now, there's a few more that I recommend that you draw. Regarding the horizontal support and resistances, right here is going to be the next one. That's going to be around $15.20. And how I got that, just look left and paste it right at the top of these candle bodies right here. So you see we have a long history of this level being the resistance, right? So now that we're above it, if we do break down from where we currently are, which is the previous high over here, you can look to this $15.50 level to be an area where buyers are likely to step in. Okay, beyond that, it's quite a ways down. That's going to be around $9.46. Of course, there's going to be some Fibonacci supports that come in, but right now I'm just marking this up based on the price action. Okay, so $9.50, huge level. And the reason being is because it was resistance right here. When we were above it, it was support. Broke below it, it was resistance again, and it was resistance all throughout here. And one thing that's noteworthy, we have not come back down to retest it. So you see we broke out of it here quite impulsively. And a lot of the time when you impulsively break out of a resistance level, the price will commonly work its way back down and test it as a support. Now that's a long way down, and I don't really think we're going to go down there. Reason being is just because where we are in the market cycle, the altcoins are finally starting to show relative strength compared to Bitcoin. And in yesterday's video, I talked about Ethereum and where I thought Ethereum was heading. And today, just one day later, we are at the level right now. Actually, I'm going to flip this to Ethereum just quickly, just to show you what's going on. So here's the weekly. I'm going to move it to the daily, actually the 4-hour. And here, this is the support level that I had marked out yesterday. And look where we're bouncing off right here. So if we're able to bounce off of this, then I don't want to hear anyone tell me that TA doesn't work, because look at that with precision, okay? So back to Injective. A couple other trend lines that I recommend you draw in this chart. The first one's going to be this upsloping level of support and resistance. Now, as for why this is relevant, it initiates right here. When the price came back to it, this was the level of resistance. Not so much because of this trend line, but because this was the horizontal resistance based on the previous price history over here. But when we broke above it, we consolidated here, and this trend line served as a support. So at this point, the price had responded to this trend line multiple times. Off of that, we had an impulsive move to the upside. And now, as we came down to it, it was support for about a month and a half all throughout here. And just recently, actually last week, we broke below it. We breached this level. And now that we've broken below it, this former support level is most likely going to be the resistance. So let's take a look at how the price is responding off of this broken support. I'll take this down to the daily. And yeah, you can see right here, actually I'll go to the 4 hour so you can get a better look. Look at this, as the price came up, this former support level, this trend line has now flipped to the resistance. So the current trading range is going to be this newfound resistance level and this horizontal established support level. Okay, so this is the current range. Mark it on your chart and you can place trades on that. Oh, I really like this bullish engulfing candle on the daily. That's a good sign. So hopefully in the coming days, now that Ethereum may have found its bottom here, I'd like to see us break back above this and then establish a new trading range. Okay, back to the weekly. Now the other upsloping trend line I recommend that you draw on your chart is going to be right here. Just connect the low of these candles to this one, to this one. And here you see it's pretty much the same story. Support, 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 broken support, now it's resistance. So you see we traded right back up to it. And the price action here in these 2 weeks came right up to it. Once again, let's take this down to the 4 hour and see how the price responded off of this trend line. And here we have it. So support here, come below it, rejected, 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 rejected. So yeah, these are the local levels of resistance that you're going to have to deal with. If we're able to bounce off this level, you got this trend line, you got this trend line, and then you have this trend line right here. Okay, and when you break one, you've entered a new trading range. Okay, with this becoming a resistance and this being the support. All right, so this should be a pretty easy one to trade because the levels are quite clear. I'm surprised to see this holding up so well. We haven't even breached, we haven't even come below this previous all-time high. It's holding a support and it's showing bullish action off of the support as well. So definitely nice to see. But yeah, those are the levels that I recommend that you watch. Oh, one thing worth noting is I ran a fib from the low up to the previous high in the last cycle. And where we turned around is quite interesting. So I'll just drag it from the low of that candle up to the top. Look, we came right down perfectly to the 618 retracement level, double bottom off that, and then we moved up impulsively. Okay, so just looking at the structure of this, it looks very bullish, right? Wave 1, correction, moving up wave 2, breaching the previous high, coming back to retest it as support. Hopefully this holds and we can continue upwards because this looks like a very bullish chart. All right, so hopefully you found that helpful. Once again, if you're not subscribed, make sure to click subscribe, click the bell, click on all. And if you guys want some sign-up bonuses for various exchanges, check out the links in the pinned comment and the description. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. Bye.